rahmatullah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر.
الله أكبر.
لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله. الحمد لله أحمده واستعينه واستهديه واستغفره وأؤمن به جل وعلا ولا أكفره وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. All praise belongs to Allah. We praise Him. We seek His help, His assistance, and His guidance. We believe in Him and do not disbelieve in Him. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and messenger. Allah sent him, that is Muhammad, with Deen al-Haq, the religion, the way, the methodology of truth. This way of life known as Islam will rise to its proper position in this world, whether the mushriks like it or not. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأوثق الأمور كلمة التقوى وخير الملل ملة إبراهيم وخير السنن سنة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأشرف الحديث ذكر الله والأحسن القصص هذا القرآن وخير الأمور أوزموها وشر الأمور محدثاتها وأحسن الهدي هدي الأنبياء وأشرف الموت قتل الشهداء وعامة دلالة بعد الهدى وخير الأعمال ما نفع وخير الهادي ما أتباع وشر الأمة أما الكلب. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said the most truthful of discourses is Kitabullah. The most trustworthy word is taqwa, or fear of Allah. The best of the communities is the community of Prophet Ibrahim. The best way of life is the Sunnah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The remembrance of Allah is the most glorious of all things. The best of all narrations is Quran. The best acts are those requiring the highest degree of will and determination. The worst acts are those based on innovation. The best way of life is the one adopted by the prophets of Allah. The most glorious death is the death of the martyr. The most wretched blindness consists of going astray after finding the right way. Best acts are the ones that yield benefits. The best guidance is that which people may be able to follow. The worst blindness is the blindness of the heart. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna Allaha yahmiru bil adli wal ihsani wa itai dil qurba wa yanha nil fashai wal munkari wal bagi ya'ithakum la'alakum tadhakkarun. Allah commands justice, the doing of good, and liberality to kith and kin. He forbids all shameful deeds and injustice and rebellion, and He instructs you that you may receive admonition. فَمَنْ يُرِيدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. Those whom Allah in His plan willeth to guide, He opens their breasts to Islam. فَمَنْ يَرِيدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. O you believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and do not die except in a state of Islam. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. And hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided amongst yourselves. And remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lil nasi ta'muruna bil ma'rufi wa tanhauna 'anil munkar wa tu'minuna billah. You are the best peoples evolved for mankind, enjoining what is right, forbidding what is wrong, and believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Would you turn the air on a little bit? Just a little bit of air. On, yeah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala khairul mursaleen. Muhammadin al-Nabi al-Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, yaqulu Allahu ta'ala fil Quran al-Kareem. Inna Allaha wa malaikatuhu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu tasliman. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Walakad arsalna Musa bi ayatina an akhrij qaumaka min dhulimati ila nuri. Wadkirhum bi ayyawmala inna fi dhalika al-ayatin likulli sabarin shukurin. We sent Moses with our signs and the command, bring out the people from the depths of darkness into light, and teach them to remember the days of Allah. Verily, in this there are signs for such that are firmly patient, constant grateful, and appreciative. And remember, your Lord calls to be declared publicly. If you are grateful, I will add more favors unto you. But if you show ingratitude, truly, my punishment is terrible indeed. And Moses said, if you show ingratitude, ye and all on earth together, yet is Allah free of all wants, worthy of all praise. The beginning of this discourse begins with Ayom Allah, the signs of Allah, or the days of Allah. And so in those ayats, in those signs, there are a lot of information for people who are conscious of the time, place, and circumstance that they're living in. If they're involved in doom, they're going to miss all the signs. The signs won't have nothing to do with it. They'll just be strolling right along. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we sent Moses with our signs and the command, bring the people out of the depths of darkness into the light and teach them to remember the days of Allah, Ayom Allah. Now, for a lot of people, for the Yahud especially, this meant when they crossed the sea and they were taken out of bondage. It meant they have Yom Kippur, Yom this, they have many special holidays. And it had a lot to do with them. But this is not restricted to a specific time and a specific people. Because it mentions Ayom Allah, the days of Allah. That means each group of people coming at their specific time have their days too. So in you and I, being here in America at this time, we cannot forget our time, our place, our circumstances. And we cannot forget the things that brought us here. We can't forget the Middle Passage. They have exaggerated numbers about how many people was killed and died and jumped off boats in the Middle Passage. Whatever it was a lot. We were food for the fish and the sharks. And we were packed like sardines. We can't forget those days. Those are special days. Then you are brought over here, your language, your culture, and your history, and your religion was taken away. Right? Destroyed. You didn't know nothing about. The only thing that Negroes remember about overseas when I was kids, they used to have a saying, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Remember that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. In one of the languages there. It's the only thing we knew. That happened to stick around because some of our people isolated off the islands in Carolina, right? They kept that. And that's the only thing. A lot of stuff we just didn't have. It's like I went into a Japanese garden, California, and I said, man, that is a beautiful tree right there. And the guy said, this is years ago. He said, yes, my grandfather planted that tree. And I said, your grandfather? I said, that was a while back, wasn't it? This tree was just a nice size. He said, yes. He said, but my father and me, we clipped the roots of that tree every now and then we transplant it into other soil. The tree is a beautiful decoration. In fact, there was an oak tree, and I'm from Oakland. That's the strongest wood. That is serious wood. Oak wood, I don't know if you ever, it's thick and it's strong and it's heavy. And I said, well, how did you get it to be a dwarf? He said, it's not a dwarf. He said, it's an oak tree. I said, I'm from Oakland. There's Oakland. You're up here in Oakland. Look at all them oak trees, 100 years old. How could he get it from reaching its potential? Full potential, right? Well, he clipped it at the root, clipped it at the top, and transplanted it. And his children clipped it at the root, clipped it at the top, and transplanted it. That means that tree became a beautiful ornament, a display, but it never reached its full potential. The Negro brought over here was clipped at the root, isn't that right? History, language, culture. You people, you know, some people come from Italy or Yugoslavia, anywhere, they still have a few. If this is the third generation, right, they still have a few words in their culture that they talk. The original generation, when they at home, they speak their language. The second generation, the younger ones, maybe they was born and kids when they were brought over here, so they still relate to the parents. They can speak their language or most of their language according to when they got here. The generation after that, now we can relate to, say, our Italians. The only thing our Italians relate to now is food. Spaghetti and all of that stuff, right? They've forgotten their language. They know that some of the things, there's ristorante and all of that stuff, right? But the America brags. When we bring you over here, after 3 generations, all of that is gone. They brag about that. You're going to be acclimatized, customized. So anyway, let me speed up. So your language, if we're cut off at the root, right, we don't have any language. Everybody else came here from Europe and everything. They brought their language with them. But you and I, it was illegal, right, to speak any language. That's why would they be so successful that we as a people don't have any vocabulary from back home? How could they be that good, right? And we ain't been here that long, a few hundred years, but some of our people were still coming here up until just before the Civil War. There's only 150. You still have some of your language cut off at the root. Your language, your religion, your culture gone. Clipped at the top because they just started letting us get learning 100 years or so ago, right? Clipped at the top, you didn't have information about anything other than what the slave master tell you, right? So his standard of beauty was your standard of beauty. So if you're white, you're all right. If you're yellow, you're mellow. If you're brown, stick around. But if you're black, get back. Wasn't that a saying that we had? This was a common saying. I mean, everybody knew it. They would say it, I mean, proudly. If you're white, you're all right. That's fine. Don't you worry about a thing. If you're yellow, mixed a little or a lot, whatever, octoroon. You got any in you fine. Just a little shade above like some of us here. Not me, some of the other brothers. Because I may seem dark to myself, but if I was in some parts of Africa, I would be almost light-skinned. Tell you the truth. I mean, you seen any of the old pictures of our people when we came here? Remember how dark we was? We was blue-black. Blue-black. It ain't too many blue-black Negroes in America anymore. In fact, there ain't hardly none. There was a lot of them when I came up. We used to call somebody in the neighborhood blue. Everybody, it was in every neighborhood. Somebody was blue. Why? Because blue, it was blacker than black. Dark blue. Anyway, let me speed up. Cut off at the root, cut off at the top, and transplanted over here. So you have no contact with anything of reality. So I want to talk a little bit today about a historical tilt that's going on. It'll take a minute to do it. A historical tilt means that when we look at the world is beginning to tilt away from the colonial mentality and activity and tilt toward the people. It's like during 50s, 60s, and 70s when Africa and Asia was decolonizing. It's that kind of period now. Except we're not decoupling from the actual government in Europe, but we're decoupling from European domination. You see what I mean? European control. It's happening all over Africa. Some places already happened. It's happening in Asia. If you look at the growth of China now, they got something bad in store for China. It ain't going to work. Why? I'm going to tell you something. You might say, why is this nigga pulling for China? When I was in Africa, when I lived in Tanzania, they built a railroad called the Tanzam Railroad. It was from Dar es Salaam to Lusaka, Zambia, because Zambia has a lot of copper and all that, right? So we watched the Chinese, how they acted. They'd be on their bus, they'd go back out to work, and they would work harder than the African would, of course. And they had their families with them, or they didn't mess around. But if you look at the highway from Dar es Salaam to Lusaka, Zambia, built by Americans, all along the highway was little mixed babies, half black, half white, all kind of curly head, straight head, all kind of little semi-Negroes and everything, where the Americans were. None of that where the Chinese was. And they would give you a 1 or 2% interest you would have to pay. That's just for carrying charges. Now we have to inform China and talk to them that they continue like they was when they was poor. Because see now, if you was watching all the news, the other day was a 100th year of the Chinese Communist Party. And they were celebrating and they were very happy, and they deserved it, boy, because they was like us. They were, in fact, it would be hard to describe, well, who got it the worst, the Chinese, because the Chinese had signs in their park same as everywhere else. No Chinese and dogs allowed. That's what, can you imagine the white folks in China? No Chinese and dogs allowed, because the dogs be doo-dooing all over, right? And no Chinese in China. I'm telling you. So I'm going to be brief as I can. So China went through a period where they had to rebuild up themselves and their courage. And this 100th anniversary, they're saying, we done made it. You had the Opium War. You destroyed our civilization, brought opium over here and killed us and did all of this. And now we back. That's what they're saying. And we didn't have long marches. The history that they had to go through, it inspired all of us. But now they big. And they got to remember, we're going to remind them, hey, do not leave behind like white folks do, right? That thing that brought you where you are. Your kindness and compassion and relating to all people, not only of color, but the oppressed. Now, they're not oppressed now. They're on a roll. So they need reminding of how they got there. And now, bring all the rest of the people at their ability and their speed. But I watch TV sometime, and I see a colonial scene. An African lady holding a Chinese baby while she's cooking. A vision from colonialism. I'm telling you, We have to remind our child, they'd be sitting in the back seat. You'd think they was drinking or something, or smoking weed. They would be happy that they're going to get one day off. Because all the other 6 days, they're taking care of boss man, the Indian or whoever. Anyway, I'm going to speed up. I promised I was going to be short. I'm sorry. I just can't tell the truth all the time. But I'm going to tell the truth about the political things, but about this is going to be a short khutbah, you can forget that. And I mean it every time I say it. It just don't work out. But I'm going to still try. I'm going to keep it as short as I can. So then there's the other tilt. You look in the Middle East and everywhere. We have historical alliances. All the historical alliances right now are under serious attack. So we have Iran, they're under attack. We have Hezbollah in Lebanon. And they have all kind of bad luck. All their docks blowing up and blowing away half of the city. So you know the Zionists did it. Yes, don't worry about that. The Zionists did it. In Yemen, what's happening to the people, the richest Arab country in the world is slaughtering with mercenaries the poorest Arab country in the world, right? Which is Yemen. But they're holding on. You got to remember, everybody is holding on. Iraq and Syria and Palestine. What we're saying is there's stabilization and now the shift is in. You could see the shift, and the other day when they had all of these missiles flying into the Zionist state, well, they've been doing that for 50 years, but it was different this time. The Zionists undercover was asking, stop that, because it's running us crazy over here. They don't say it on their news or nothing, but it's running them crazy. They're the ones asked for peace, right? They're the ones, and the Muslims in Palestine, well, I'll tell you a little bit about that later. The Muslims in Palestine, I don't know how they can be that tough. I mean, not tough fighting, but they treat it, I mean, it's unbelievable. And the Zionists get away with it. I'm going to get to that in a minute. So we have Palestine. Then we have something we have all seen. I'm going to draw it together in a minute. We're all watching TV, and we're watching George Floyd for over 8 minutes with the white man's knee on his neck. And eventually, he's asking for his mother. Now, when I was younger, in the riots, when you trap a white boy and you're ready to finish him off, white boys would call for their mother and black people would call for Jesus. But now there's been a change in our culture. He was calling for his mama. Why? Because whatever he remembered, his time of peace and tranquility was with his mother. No matter how far he go back, and that's the last thing you see before you die. Everybody, the last thing you remember before you're going to die. We catch white boys be ready to stick them. He said, Mama, he said, Mama, they going to kill me. Talking about us niggas. And white boys be killing niggas too. But that's what they would say, white boys in those days. Now I'm talking about 60 years ago. They would say that. Now you have a brother not calling on Jesus. Remember you seen it in movies, everything. When they get ready to hang Jesus, that's the Negro. But now they done flipped over. And he's remembering what was the time when this all wasn't happening. It was when I was in my mother's arms. So it's going back to a primal memory. And that's who he's calling on. Okay. So now, we're going to get to the talk today. The talk is Ayyam Allah, the days of Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, we sent Musa alayhi salam with our signs and the command, bring out the people from the depths of darkness and teach them to remember the days of Allah, Ayyom Allah. And this is what we talking today about you. The Jews, the Israelis, and these Israelis that the Quran is talking about are not Zionist. Zionist is a new phenomena. Zionist, Theodore Herzl in the 1880s. The state of Israel, whatever they call it, is a Zionist state, not an Israeli state. They're confusing people. The real Jews, our friend, we take pictures with them and all that, in the Turukati, all of them. The Jews that even in the summertime, they wearing them black coats and fur hats. You see them before? The Jews, our friends, at a program on the stage, they up there with them big overcoats on and fur hats. You ever seen them? And people ask a sister that have a black outfit on and niqab, how can you stand that heat? I ask these Jews, how can you stand all that heat? A fur hat, they ain't playing. There ain't no air getting to nowhere, and they just rolling right along like it ain't. I say, y'all some bad jokers just to be able to dress like that in this 100-degree humid weather. Anyway, we're going to go on. So teach them to remember the days of Allah, Ayyom Allah. We are in this dispensation. There's stuff going on for us right now that we're supposed to handle and transfer it to the world and participate in this world transformation that's going on right this minute. And I'm going to try to get to it, and it won't be long. So, it talks about being very, in that is signs for those who are patient, they have sabr, and they are appreciative and they're grateful. Then Moses says, and remember your Lord caused to be declared publicly. If you are grateful, that means everything that happened to us happened to a special reason, for a special reason. If you are grateful, I will add more favors unto you. But if you show ingratitude, truly my punishment is terrible indeed. You might say, man, black people in America will be grateful about. The part of the Quran where it says they kill the men and leave the women folk alive. That's boss man, isn't that right? Stand down on the street. Going to work every morning down there, right? 8 sisters, 2 brothers. Right? Stand right out there. Right there, there's the road. They're coming from Maryland. I don't care, stand on the road coming from Virginia. Well, you see more white folks coming. It don't make no difference. Wherever you stand in D.C., the only brothers you're going to see, there's a few going downtown, but most of them are going down to the garages and drive, before the Latinos get to them, drive these trucks around, cutting the grass and clipping trees, right? Tell the truth. It's D.C. This is what I see. If I'm missing it, you can remind me. All right. So we have had to deal with certain things here in America. We can't forget those things. That was to develop us as human beings. Now, these things happen publicly, and if we forget those things, right? Just worry about it yourself. And Moses said, if you show ingratitude. Now, in this, ingratitude is related to kufr. Ingratitude is related to iman, faith or belief, in these series of ayats. Ye all on earth together, Allah is free of all wants, worthy of praise. So our section on Ayyam Allah, the days of Allah. Now I'm going to get into a few things. Here's what I might do. I might just show you some pictures, and then I can just run this stuff straight. You can't see this very good, but this says the Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare. At the place down there, they couldn't get it no clearer than that, but you can see the Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare. And we're going to tell you what that means in a minute. We're also going to show you some of our experiences in America. Okay. Now, I want to show you how to think ahead and how to plan ahead. And for what reason? These are two pictures. That's me, right? This is the standard. You can see the buttons. Free Huey, da-da-da-da. I'm in Oakland, California, right? This is 1968. And this, 1969 or 70, right here. Okay. This is the reality, and this right here is a disguise. Why is this a disguise? Now, you could buy a house for how much that suit costs. That's, you can say what you want, but all this mink and everything, this is the rich, it could have been the richest nigga in the world. That's what it looks like. That's before Superfly, and that's 2-3 years before all that fur they was wearing back here. This is the reality. This is a disguise. You said, what are you talking about, a disguise? Well, they killing everybody dressed like this. Tell the truth. You step out of the house like that if you want, stingy brim. That's an inch and a half brim. All that Black Panther look, get you killed. Killed everybody else, right? This is what the system wants. So you give boss man what he wants. This is a disguise. Nobody knew it was a disguise. And I used to disguise myself in the baddest ride in town. Look at here. Mink all in it, big H up there. That is sharp Negro. Of course, same color. You trying to, here you are. They say if you want to hide something from the Negro, hide it in a book. Isn't that right? Know what they say? If you want to hide Negro plans, what are Negro plans? The plans of those days, right? Black economic enterprise zones in America. Martin Luther King, in 68, keep your history together, went to Chicago to do that because he realized we had to have economics, right? We realized it too, but we were successful. Oakland is the only place. They got the Black Panther Party, they killing all of them, and half the party came and joined me. And I told them you'd do more for black people on our side. I can show you all the pictures. All the people went to Sacramento carrying guns. Half of them, our head of security, Johnny Bethia, was head of security in our organization, right? Yeah, why? It was a disguise. I'm telling you. Now, how could you hide a Negro with all this on, they look the same, right? Black and white. And you hiding up in here. Got a telephone now with 11 channels, and niggas didn't have. Now y'all got a little telephone, right? In those days, your telephone unit in your car weighed 300 pounds. 300 pounds. That's why you had to have air ride in these, so it sit level, because at the air ride it lifted up. Anyway, one is reality, the other is the disguise. Why would you have to disguise? Because everybody like this has a target on them, right? So you have to change your position. A few more things. Now, you think ain't nobody going to have a target on him here. Here's the president of Iran, the most hated president, right? Tell the truth. This little guy here, he's more hated than anybody. So when I go to Iran, who do I go see? He wasn't president then, but so you go visit him. So I want you to look at revolution from Egypt to the Americas, right? Revolution from Egypt to the Americas. Imam Jamil Al-Amin, he's been in prison for over 20 years. He's gone blind, right? The government has messed up his whole community. And then our other brother, Imam Luqman, was assassinated up in Detroit over 10 years ago, now about 12 years ago. And this is me, right? This is the brother right there. What does that mean for the uneducated, even at a third grade education? You know what they're saying. Revolution from Egypt to the Americas. Oakland and the American Islamic Revolution. Nigga, down here. If you don't shut up, we're going to do you like your other homeboys, right? Everybody knows that's what it means. You don't have to be educated or trained. You know that's what it means. They're in prison for the rest of their life. This one is dead. Then they're going to mess with you in ways. They ain't going to play with you. They'll bust you upside the head. When I went to the hospital, they thought I was shot in the chest. They was working on my chest. I said, no, I was busted in the head. Right? I was busted in the head, and the blood came down. Okay. I had to tell the people on my side, mind your own business. Don't do nothing. We got this covered. And I was hollering when I said it because everybody was going, when they come and saw what they was going to do something. You know, they colored. So you don't let nobody control your business. It don't make no matter how much it hurt or what it feels like. You do what you want when you want. There's a picture of the Rahbar. No, what is that? What is that? It's around there somewhere. Now, here's another picture. This is my poor son. Boy, he got 7 bullets in him. 7 bullets. You know, and the other one, he just got 1 or 2. And they both, well, they getting along, but they fine. This bullet broke his arm. You see where his arm go out and straight down? Oh, that's not the way arm go, right? But anyway, all these are messages. And then what do they think? Ain't no Negro in the United States ever met the Rahbar. Hey, how you doing and all that. And all you can see Sudanese, Palestinians, in other words, this is meetings of the Islamic movement. Now this is pitiful here. This is Mukhtar, who called the police. This is our masjid. You can see the sign there, Masjid Islam. And they pulling me out of the masjid. This is 3 Mexican police. No black police, and I'll get to that why later on. I just wanted to show you those pictures so when I make reference to anything from now on, you will understand why I'm making those references and what it looks like. So now, let's get back to what we call strategic brilliance. What is strategic brilliance? That means you find yourself in a situation, right? And you got to maneuver through that and come out in a beneficial place on the other end, right? That's what we have a history of doing that. This is not new. This is 2 or 3 stages back, all this other old stuff. Strategic brilliance. And nobody thinks that the Negro has any of that. That means they read about it in history, but they don't think it ain't no nigga can outthink white folks. Just can't do it. Niggas don't think like that, don't have experience. But with imagination, you can use location, you can use delay, you can use historical timing, and you can domesticate the system. What is system domestication? Well, I'm going to tell you about it, and you'll see that it's happened right in front of your eyes. System domestication, you domesticate a cow, you domesticate anything, right? And you get the milk from the cow. You drink the milk. The cow's baby can't drink nothing until after you get your bucket full. The system can be domesticated, but you got to have the courage, the history, and the intuition to give it a shot. You can't look at boss man and say, boss man, too big. Try that with, he got more sense. I'm not going to tell you why I don't. Visioneering. Visioneering is seeing your ideal future. Expectation and anticipation of your ideal future. Not their ideal future, yours. Where do you want to go? How long you want to be getting there, right? What will it look like when I arrive? What road will I have to take to get to that ideal future? So this is dealing with humanity, mission, vision, area of responsibility. To take charge of your own future. Don't let people design your future. If so, who are you going to work for in boss man's future? You're going to work for him. You're going to produce for him. Isn't that right? Right? You're going to be basically his servant. Do you think boss man is going to visualize himself working for you, right? To help you and your family? Absolutely not. Okay. I'm going to try to speed up. Right now, we're dealing with something happened in Vietnam. What they said, in 1968, there was a Tet Offensive, where all over Vietnam, they was telling people here in America, the war will be over soon. And the Viet Cong, the Viet Minh, they had the Tet Offensive. That's the Chinese New Year over there, right? And they attacked all over Vietnam. And they lost the conflict, but they gained super respect to be able to attack all that area and all those people. And President Johnson was telling everybody, we can see light at the end of the tunnel. It's almost over. And the Vietnamese launched their biggest attack of all times, called the Tet Offensive. You can look it up on your phone now. Can you imagine you can touch your phone and look up anything you want in history, sociology? I said, man, this is something. I'm just getting used to it. But when you get old, you're always slow with modern stuff. You know, the kids be, and it pops up, and you got to, anyway, Tet Offensive. What they said in those days, things fall apart. The center cannot hold. What does that mean then and now? In America, things are falling apart. The center, gravitational pull of the center can't hold all of these pieces floating around together. It can't hold the people together racially, economically. Things are falling apart. They're talking about China, and everybody in China is rolling right along, right? They take care of business. Things fall apart. The center does not have enough gravitational pull to keep America together again. They don't have that. America is separating. America is going into a decline. And the Israelis are one of the main reasons for it. We're going to get to that in a minute. So we use certain things as our guide: the Quran, Sunnah, history, and our experience. So we're Muslims. We follow the Quran. That's it. If it says it, that's it. The Sunnah, right? Hadith, things the Prophet said, did, and acted, and that's our guideline. History, the Quran says, travel in the earth and see what was the end of those before you. Travel in the earth that you learn knowledge. Why do you think in our khutbahs we're always talking about somewhere else? China, Afghanistan, right? The Roman Empire, the British Empire, the sun never. Why do you think we talk about that on it? That is our travels through the earth, right? Have given us knowledge, information. Our study, reading of books and everything have given us a pictorial history of man's travel here on earth. And it's bound to repeat itself, if not in full, in part. And then our experience. That's why the people that come here see America different than you and I do. We're not going to dwell on that, but we have to follow Quran, the Sunnah, and that travel in the earth, that history. We have to apply it to how does all of that fit with us right here, right? Can't make up nothing new, but we have to adjust our behavior, our goals, and our future according to the guidelines. We can't come up and say, like some people, we need a Negro proposal. You need a Negro proposal. You need a Quranic proposal. Well, the Quran is for everybody, right? Now, it just so happens we're right here in the Southeast. Why? Because when we came here, this is where all black people was, and that's part of our mission to try to help where we come. But there ain't no limit. Don't say there's a black masjid. You can't come here. You're from Pakistan, Africa. We don't want no more of y'all over here. We don't say that. Welcome, right? Okay, let me speed up. Domesticating the system. This is something nobody talks about. Nobody even dreams about it. What is it? You domesticate a dog, you train a dog, you can train the system. Reason we never trained it because we never tried, that's all. But we're going to show you what we've been doing right in front of your face. And you're going to say, is that what was going on? Just like hiding right in the people's face, right? Driving a big, long Cadillac, the prettiest thing in town, and you calling that hiding, right? Because ain't nobody else thinking like that, right? And as long as you're doing that, the police is happy. As long as niggas driving them Cadillacs and doing that, right? They ain't thinking about revolution. If I was dressed like the other Negroes that I was really with, because remember, when I run off from America, I went to Algeria with the Black Panther Party, right? Because that's where my mind was all the time, right? But just because I'm with you don't mean I'm going to sit there and drink poison and get blowed up and they're going to be down here at 3 o'clock and they're going to spray us, with something or other. Well, I'm with y'all. I'm going to stay right here while they spray us. Not the brother. The same thing. I'm not going to drink this poison that all the big Masjid and Imams trying to sell us to drink. We're not drinking that. Not here. Okay. I'm going to try to speed up. Don't worry. It ain't going to take no more than a few more minutes, like an hour or something. Domesticated says, self-pain, monitoring pain in order to use it properly. Strategic laboratory of the science of pain. If you're in America, you want to do something positive, you're going to get plenty of pain. You're going to get plenty of suffering, right? So now you have to use that pain. This is pain that you're going to use to monitor. How does it affect me? How does it affect everybody else? Pain in order to use pain properly. So America, for us, if you're thinking, since you're already here, it's a strategic laboratory for the science of pain. As-Sabiqun liberation movement, we're going to move on past that. Imam Tufail Abdullah Strategic Command Center, right over there. People think we're going to rinse that stuff out. We're not rinsing out nothing. It's already just about ready for an international office. Of course, it's small, but you think big. For Zionist studies, counter-Zionist studies, right over there, watch and see. Well, all our tapes are studies on Zionism, counter-Zionism, psycho-discombobulation. What does that mean? Boss man put a lot of pressure on you to wear you down. Isn't that right? Here's what we say. Psycho-discombobulation is not wearing us down, it's wearing us up. Remember, wearing you up, making you stronger, getting you taller and bigger is not making you depressed. Oh, I'm so depressed because they're doing this. I'm happy they're doing that. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So they're not wearing us down, they're wearing us up. Remember, we're carrying the ball for everybody because ain't nobody even talking like this. Tell the truth. You think you're going to get a khutbah like this somewhere else? They even thinking about it. They mumbling a few duas and what have you, but that's about it. Okay. Psycho-discombobulation. I know we all know what discombobulation is. You know, you fight and it hits you, you get discombobulated. But have you ever thought about discombobulating the people that's ruining your life? Well, that's the reason it hasn't happened, because you haven't thought about it. You haven't tried it. See, since the 60s and that period, we have not really tried to do things that are necessary. We do things that are acceptable to the system. Are they happy? They're happy we ain't trying to do nothing, but they ain't happy until you're dead and just broke and crazy and hollering and crying. All right, well, just hold on. We're going to speed up here. Human resource management, I'll move on. Islamic Negro characteristics. This is a long story, and I don't have time. But, you know, our characteristics. The characteristics for here. We're part of the whole Islamic dispensation. But we have to do what we have to do here. Because the Zionist murderers are coming from here. When they have Afrikaan, right? That's from here. When they have people in the Middle East killing each other, they come from here, right? So all of the problems that black people have and people of color all over the world, it comes from here. So that's where this human resource management come from with black characteristics. What is this boss man on the line? I'll just tell you so you get the picture. Boss man on the line. Boss man on the line, y'all all been fishing a little bit, and then you see the little thing going, that mean the fish is nibbling at it. And then you wait a minute, and then you jerk. And you done snagged the fish. He's on the line. If you didn't get him that's all right. Rebait it and throw it back out again and let him nibble. When he's nibbling, you'll see the little, well, it's old time fishing. You see the little bob go up and down a little bit. And then when you get him on the line, you got him hooked now. The hook is made to keep him there. He can't wiggle out of it. He can't ease out of it. He can't swim out of it. Ever since we've been here, for the last, some of these pictures I showed you are from over 50 years ago. Some of them 55 years ago. I was pretty young then. We had East Oakland Enterprises. East Oakland Enterprises was same thing Martin Luther King wanted. He wanted to develop enterprise zones in Black America where we wouldn't just be marching, carrying signs, but he wanted to help us begin to work toward acquiring some wealth and education. Okay. We did that in Oakland, East Oakland Enterprises. That's what it was about. Everybody had jobs. They used to call me the mayor of East Oakland. They said, man, this guy hired more people in the city of Oakland. And actually, it was true. Everybody, whatever you want to do, you could do it. You don't need the money to do it. You like to promote fights here, you try. Give it a try. The only problem is our people didn't have experience at that time. But we gave it a try. Then boss man woke up. He said, them niggas are not stupid. We're the ones stupid. They riding around in them pretty cars. That's advertisement for them. Right? That's advertisement. It's success. And what does everybody want to be? Successful. We want to be like that, right? This is what the people say, right? You know Cadillacs in those days. That was heaven. 50, 60 years ago, that was heaven. Niggas in heaven got big ride and everything. So that was our position. Economic enterprise zones, right? And that's what we did in Oakland. They didn't do it in Chicago. They didn't do it in LA. The only place in the United States that it happened was in Oakland. Because maybe that was just where we was at the time. We was young enough, energetic enough to give it a shot. Okay. So now, these well, before you can get to these economic enterprise zones, you're going to have a lot of things you're going to have to go through. So we have Imam Musa trapped pro-Zionist Negroes in the headlights of history. What does that mean? You know where a deer is out there on the highway and the headlights hit them and you can see their eyes glowing and they get froze. Right? Everybody has seen it before. Boss man, right now, right this minute, is trapped in the headlights of history. He's not doing anything correctly. He's paralyzed. He's frozen. He's in Afghanistan. At least he could be there 2-3 more days. But he leave it in a hurry so he can leave Afghanistan in the hands of the people that he was supposed to be fighting. And the people he was supposed to be helping to fight to hold Afghanistan, they asking him, why you leaving so fast, and you turning it over to them. Because boss man double-cross folks. Y'all ever heard that? The white man speak with a forked tongue? He always have, and he may always will, unless he become Muslim. That boy lies to everybody. And the Afghanis that's been trained by him and working with him and everything are now dumped out to pasture, right? And y'all hear the news, right? It's running over Afghanistan. Afghanistan is going to pot. Why? Because boss man gave it to them. That was the deal. Why would they be having peace talks and they don't let the other side, the other Afghanis, come to the peace talks? Remember that? Last few months? Why you don't let your allies, the people that's supposed to be on your team, Why they don't get to come to peace talks, and you got the Taliban coming that's been killing everybody. Talib means student, Because boss man, what y'all remember? Has he ever told you the truth? Tell the truth. Boss man. Oh, what did he tell the Indians? Oh, how long is this treaty for, boss man? The Indians. He said, long as the grass grow, the wind blow, and the sky is blue. To the Indians, that's forever, isn't that right? He told the Afghans the same thing. He told the Filipinos same stuff. In their language, whatever fits them, that's what he told them. Anybody that goes along with boss man, they'd tell them, Shaw, this is in the old days, you are an island of stability, this is Carter, in a sea of turmoil. Talking about Iran in those days. Y'all remember that? He told Carter, old Lion Carter, y'all think he's a nice man. Shaw, let's have a toast. That was 2 weeks before he got thrown out. You're an island of stability in a sea of turmoil. Talking about the Middle East. Okay, I think we've learned a few lessons. So here's what we want to do. The pro-Zionist Negroes, they're trapped in the headlights of history, and they can't see what's going on around them. That's too bad. We're not trapped with them. They look like, you ever seen them baboons overseas? They had the baboons in Africa with the big red behind. That's what the Negro looked like. The baboon to himself, he don't feel shame walking around with his butt out. Right? But a Negro that's been kissing boss man's behind and working for him, the boss man fronts him off. So he's walking around, everybody can see him. Big old lips sticking up, big old booty sticking out, right? A red shiny behind. If you work for boss man, that's what he gonna do you. He can't help it. Tell the truth. He's always done that, right? If you bet on that, you'd always win. Or say 99 times out of you win the bet, right? If you bet boss man gonna dump you overboard, gonna lie to you, and after you finish snitching on everybody, he gonna throw you right on the yard with everybody else. And they gonna kill you because he don't want to pay you any money. Boss man, you owe me $1 million for doing this, that, and other. Sure, just stand by there, go on out there on the yard, I'll pay you. Right? Then here comes some Negro that he didn't pay $5, took 2 days off his sentence to cut your throat. Isn't that the way boss man is? Tell the truth now. If I'm lying, y'all should raise your hand and say, Imam Musa today, the way boss man is, he to tell the truth all that. Somebody can raise your hand and say that if you like. He ain't never did no lie. He ain't lied to you and me and trying to get us killed. Boss man, the truth, man. You just don't know. You just mad. You angry Negro. Okay. Israeli trained police. That's OPD. It's related to not only us, but Oakland. And when would you know that Israel having a big effect on the police departments in America? Well, you see the police driving up and down the street, right, with their lights flashing. All that comes from Israel. But you know more by the behavior of the police department in this state, in this country. For instance, the Israelis treat the Palestinians like subhuman, not even human. The Israelis take property, although the Palestinians have a deed. They say that ain't nothing. That's from Ottoman times or something like that, right? A lot of the demonstrations right now today, They're very similar to our situation. Why? Because they have total disregard for the so-called human being, the Palestinians, isn't that right? They come and take them and throw them out of their property, isn't that right? And give it to some Zionists. The picture I showed you of the Negroes in California, they are throwing us out of our own property. Why are they doing that? They're throwing us out in front of everybody because they're adopting Israeli policy in America. And I want to remind you of what you are looking at to see. The police now, they used to kind of hide, they shoot a nigga here and there, but now they shoot you down publicly. They have George Floyd on the ground for over 8 or 9 minutes with a knee in him and killing him in public, because that's the way Israelis. I want you to look at the police. The police in the U.S. is still murderous, but now they are more murderous. And they're doing it more openly and clearly than ever before. You got to remember the number. Why after they killed George Floyd didn't they say, and all them other can't breathe, I can't. Why didn't they slow down and take a minute? Because they've been trained by Israelis. The police department in America is more trained by Israelis. Israelis are less human than anybody in the world. And they think Palestinian, right? When they train in the police here. All the police here is just crackers and we don't want you to have nothing. Maybe they'll shoot you from time to time, which they do, but now it's out and out murder and they don't care. All the cameras is there, they pull them out and shoot you anyway, right? Tell the truth. That's Israeli style, right? Okay. What is this Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare? Do you know when we put that sign in one of our buildings, outside our buildings in California, I used to sit behind what we have a gate, one of those with a black door with holes in it, and little bars. And I used to sit behind that and turn the lights off and watch people drive by us on the main street, and they would stop and look at that sign. There's a lot of Arabs there too. Some people would turn around and, what does that mean, the Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare, right? And remember, you've seen the writings about us. What did it say? Those people are da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And guess what? We've never lost an encounter. In 85, we gave a lecture out at Davis, a big university. And some of our friends in the Turakati, the Jews, they had sent us some literature. And when we got there, the leaders of Al-Auda returned and all that. The Arabs, the Palestinians, and all the other Iranians that was there, they were scared. Because the Jews are smart. That's what they think. So they said, they're going to eat this nigga up. And then they had a big thing about all the good things Jews had did, or Zionists had did. So when I walked in, I looked at the list and I went right down the list. Da-da-da-da-da. You're supposed to be so helpful in 1935 when Mussolini attacked Jews, right, with poison gas and everything, and Somalia and Ethiopia, right? I said the Zionist movement told them to go to hell. And then I went on down the list, and then I threw the list out into the audience. And everybody said, ooh, that's a bad nigga there. I went right down the list categorically because they didn't think that Negroes got enough sense to deal with the super smart Zionists. They're afraid of them. That's why they don't never win. Y'all remember seeing Sean Hannity's show? Remember that? Sean Hannity. That's after Rabbi Chaim got his butt whooped at UCLA. Rabbi Chaim and all the Jews is there, and all the Muslims is there too. Oh, pretty soon, Rabbi Chaim got mad. He run up there. You're a hater. You're a hater. I said, Rabbi, you go back there and sit your butt down. And he turned around and went and sat down. And then a guy says in the audience, what does A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim mean? And then the commentator, he didn't say nothing. He asked him again. The third time, he said, I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan, the rejected enemy. And the guy said, that man, talking about me, is the shaitan. I looked at the guy. I listened to him. He was an Iranian, 100%. But I said, I seek refuge in Allah from somebody coming in here pretending like a Muslim, but you're a Jew, aren't you? You're a Jew. And all of them dropped their head. He's a Jew, an Iranian Jew, thinking he knows something about Islamic culture. And the people, that's why I don't speak nowhere anymore. They say that nigga must have a crystal ball or something helping him down. You know what I mean? And all the kids, all the Egyptians, they said, Imam Musa, the Jewish kids were crying. I said, great. That's what I said, how you going to whoop somebody? You're supposed to make them cry, break their psychological makeup. That's what you're supposed to do, right? They were good. Same thing at UC Berkeley. I'm not going to go into all the things. But every encounter we have had with Yahoo, every encounter. Y'all remember Sean Hannity, right? Remember? Okay, all of those. Why you think we don't show up no more on TV or nothing? Nowhere, right? What about, what was that Zionist? The one I told to meet me in Daniel, it was Daniel, all of them. Meet me, you so bad, meet me at the university up there in Pennsylvania. That's where you're from, you're talking bad. Meet me up there, you know what I mean, calling them out. The Muslims right downtown at this big international program or on international TV, oh, you shouldn't talk to them like that. We should, talking about them, we know how to talk. I said, you don't know how to talk to nobody. You know how to kiss their behind. I said, I ain't kissing their behind. I'm whooping their behind. So psychologically, why do you think you don't see nobody nowhere? No more on press TV, no more on RT, none of that. Why? Because they can't stand a nigga that whoops their behind day in and day out and don't break no sweat. Can't lose. Sometimes you have somebody's number. Y'all may be too young to remember the fight game. That was a guy that used to fight Muhammad Ali sometime. What was his name? The old nigga that had that old stupid style. He used to fight Muhammad Ali. What was that? He played a slave in one of them movies. Ken Norton, he couldn't fight, but he had Muhammad Ali's number. Y'all remember that? That fool, he couldn't. He had Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali could slap everybody else around, do anything he wanted. But Ken Norton had Muhammad Ali's number. It was so abnormal how he used to fight that he couldn't figure out a nice strategic plan because the nigga didn't know what he was doing. He was just doing it. That meant he had Ali's number, right? That's the way we are with the Zionists. We're never lost. And the big guys, they'll never call us to challenge the Zionists. They'll call some crackpot imam. I shouldn't say that. Some imam who's very nice, of course, and very learned, of course, but he's afraid of the Zionist. Right? Okay. I'm going to get to what the talk is about. Right now, the main enemy of humanity right now is the Zionist. Okay. All of our team and everything we're about, we are right in the middle of everything, but we're beginning to go into the ascendancy. The Zionists in America have gotten so much power, right, that they tell everybody what to do. I want to tell you, that's why, remember I'm always talking about there's some good FBI, there's some bad ones. Okay, let me explain something. The FBI came here a couple of years ago, and they said, da-da-da-da-da. I said, man, they said, now, we don't want you to go back out to Oakland because certain things is going to happen out there. So what do you mean something? He said, wasn't you attacked at the Masjid out there? I said, yeah, I was attacked. He said, well, why don't you stay here and do good deeds, stuff like that. Somebody told him that's what Muslims do. I said, I don't know. I think I'm going back out there, which I did. But they told me, from now on, you don't have to worry about us no more. I mean the FBI. That means you can catch planes. When I used to come in, I'd be 4 hours. If I came in from overseas, I'd be 4 or 5 or 6 hours at the airport for no reason. He said, you don't have to worry about us no more. Before he walked out the door, he said, but we recommend that you don't go there. I said, man, what you talking about? So I went anyway. But what was it? Why was he recommending the FBI that I don't go out there? I told him, you the FBI, you running this whole show. You tell the Oakland Police Department what to do, not so. The Zionists have taken over. Remember, I ain't lost no fight with no Zionists. The Zionists is mad at Imam Musa. I mean, boiling mad, right? Tell the truth. Because every time they come around, I go slap them, you dumb Zionists, and make fun of them. Do you think the Zionists can stand a nigga turning flips and making fun? You just an old stupid Zionist. You ain't got no sense. Everybody's scared of you and then tickle them with something like that. And they get feared. It makes them mad. It makes them mad. They're out of their systematic, organized approach. And they get emotional about it. That's why we can whoop them all the time, because we got their number. Nobody else got it. I ain't seen nobody in America that have the Zionist number. Because we ain't never, if anybody can remember one, anytime we came in contact with Zionists, they're defeated. What? Flat out. The Muslims should love that, isn't that right? They should bring me there, because they might get mad. I'm trying to tell you. Here's the thing. We got their number. We've been at their number all along. And we got that number right now. That's why everything that's happening in the world is moving away from them and towards us. When I say toward us, that means, okay, the nuclear thing with Iran, don't worry. It'll go down the way it should. The thousands of people slaughtered and murdered in Yemen, don't worry. The thousands of people slaughtered and murdered and bombed and gassed in Syria. Allah's not going to let their death go for nothing. It's for a reason. In Lebanon, which used to be a part of Syria, when the Zionist Israelis blow up that warehouse full of explosives, because they knew it was there. And that was one of the biggest blasts that happened in the Middle East. And that was just a few months back. It was the Zionists did it. Everything happened here in America. They blew up the World Trade Center and blamed it on us, and that gave them a right to do everything they wanted all over the world. But what happened in Iraq? They got their butt kicked. What happened in Afghanistan? What happened? They went into Afghanistan and they're just leaving. That was 20 years ago, right? Who lost? They did. Of course, we lost a lot of people. But I'm telling you, the tide is changing right now before your very eyes. The only thing is we have to figure out, where do we want to fit in this thing? America needs guidance, but they need bold guidance. There's nothing, I don't care where you look, things fall apart. The fires in California, the sewage in the oceans, right? Everything is falling apart in America. Everything is falling apart in America. And the Americans of my age have already spent up the next 2 generations' money. Right? They had so much debt. You think they're happy about it? Things is falling apart. The thing is, where are we going to fit ourselves in the middle of all this? Let me say a few more things, and I'm going to let y'all go. Israeli trained police, that's Oakland Police Department, are treating the people the same way, treating us the same way they do Palestinians. In our masjid in Oakland, y'all have seen it, we have the deed to the property. We have everything. We've been there for years, and they come in and take us out of our masjid. That's the way Israelis do. The FBI was telling us right here, here's what it means. Let me translate for you. Hey, the Israelis took over this thing. From now on, we're the FBI, but we cannot tell. Let me go over that again. We're the FBI. We're here to tell you someone has more power in America than we do. The FBI. That's what they were there for. They was there to tell. That's what they told me. I got different understandings of but that's what they said. That means you go back 25, 30 years when the FBI came to our masjid and they said, they were saying what they were saying. So, man, y'all get out of here. I say, I haven't done anything. No, said, no, we're proud of you. You never, in other words, you a nigga got out of prison and you've been doing right. For that time, it was only about 5 or 10 years. This is impossible for a nigga to do right. That's what the FBI said. Then, all they want to do is check on, make sure, as he said, if Rafsanjani calls over here, would you do anything? I said, man, you get on out of here. Don't ask me them dumb questions. And I said, if I want to go to prison or the penitentiary, I'll go myself. I know how to get in the penitentiary. I know how to break into the penitentiary. I know how to do all of that. If I want to go to the pen with all them snitches in the masjid, all I got to do is say, we're going to do a terrorist act for Iran, right? A stupid nigga. Boy, that'd be the dumbest Negro in world history, right? Here's what I'm saying. Everything is going our way, and everything is going just like we said. The FBI was here. What was they saying? What did it mean? They went to see other brothers to find out. The FBI going to go and find out where's the Masjid. That's the stupidest thing. It's unbelievable, but they had to go. They did that to let other people know we are going there and we're going to, whatever we're going to do. We're going to talk to your boss over there. He's a nice guy. That's what they were saying. You haven't done nothing. And we've been watching you for 50 years, nigga. If you doing something, we don't know nothing about it. And we don't even believe, I say, you want to pinch me and see if the nigga's alive? They believe it now. We don't believe it's possible for a nigga to do anything right or good. That's what the FBI said. You've been doing so good. Don't go back out there. What does that mean? The Israelis took over power in Oakland. The Israelis have more power over the police departments. The Israelis is pushing U.S. policy in America. The Israelis. We told you a long time ago, but it's clear as a bell. We had to wait till we got all the stuff together. This is what we know, and this is what we're about, and that is the decline of America. Why? Because Israelis and others taking over America. Imagine how the FBI feels when the head of the FBI is dragged through the court, and he has to say, right? And they wear their badge over their heart. This is that maybe 5, 10, 20% that really believe in what they're doing. And they like it. We're for America. And they see their leaders drugged through, right? Treated like dogs. Right? By that pro-Zionist bum that just left. Oh, well, all of them are pro-Zionists. I'm not saying it. But one is stupid enough to mess up for them instead of making it right. And I'm going to close with this. You got to believe it. The ball is in our court right now. This is a good time. Everything is beginning to go our way. When you get that key that the Americans have been pushed back by the Zionists, it means a foreign system is controlling what happens in the United States. You think they like that? You think them corn-fed crackers like that? Absolutely not. America. God bless America. That's the way they feel. That's why we say, join in the system. Now, right now, we got 4 or 5 things we suggest the Negroes do. Number 1, flood the police department with Negroes. Why would you want to do that? It's because America is getting ready to have turmoil. Well, they have turmoil already. But when things fall apart, you have to have authority and guns to protect your wife, your children, and your family. Or somebody else is going to kill them. I don't want to sound melodramatic. You have to get in there and take tests and become whatever they got, lieutenants and captains and sergeants and everything. We used to say, stay out of the system. Now we say, get on in there. Get in there now because this is a different period, and people that can't adapt and cannot adjust to the time, they're headed for oblivion. Isn't that right? Here's what we're saying. All our people tell the truth. They're going to join the system anyway. What is 96% of the Negroes going to do? They're going to get them a federal, a state, or a county job. Isn't that true? That's why when you go down there, who you going to see? But now it's for a purpose. And we have to explain to the people the time we're living in and hit at why the things in the world has been happening. You think they understand? Absolutely not. They have no idea, right? So we have to start it in and visit the colleges, the universities, and begin to get all of our people that want to help themselves and the future. First, in order to get to the future, you got to protect the future. If things fall apart, you seen how the white police been just shooting niggas down? That's what they do. They got a right to do that. You got to get your people in there. And I know the time is right. Last time I went to jail here in D.C., it's some little thing, but I watched all the marshals. All of these look like they just left Howard. They all looked like that. They were educated. They was young people, men and women. And they had to do what they was told. And as this little white man was doing something to me while he's a little short guy. He had a short man complex. This is a long story. But the black people was watching. They didn't go along with it, but they had a job. And they would hint, we understand what you just said. I told them this is a slave policy where you go from one pen to the other, In California, you saw only Mexican police, no black police. Why? Because all the people my age that was in the department when they knew already what we was doing. They went to the same churches as all of our family, and therefore, I'm telling you, when Geronimo Pratt got killed on Africa, they had something at the Infirmary Park, or Robert Hutton Park, whatever they call it. And the same police been there, they're ready to retire. They don't come up to me and say that they want to shake your hand. They just throw something down. Man, we're really proud of you. These are people I knew in Jahiliyyah, and I know them well. They were pretending to be entertainers. Now they're doing what they've been doing all the time. They're undercover polices. And the undercover polices in Oakland right now today, the ones that's not retired, we really respect what you're doing, and we really appreciate it. And they've been saying it over and over again. That's why it's Mexican police that they have arrested me that don't know nothing about Oakland history. Nothing. You see, they're Mexicans. They don't. You think they know? When they arrest me in Oakland, they don't have no black police there, because the black police would go and tell his homeboys, they put Big Hank, man, in jail. Why? It's been happening for over 50, 60 years almost, because every time the police was coming to do something, and I'll close with this. They'd go to the church or something, and they'd tell my sister, they'd be running, driving, trying to find. The police just said, the white police had told everybody they're having a regular, now this is what's going on in that area. Right, and this is the guy that's doing it. As soon as the police leave there, it reminds me about 1970 or 71. The police chief, Chief Gain, and a redhead lieutenant, we all know him. He came to Allen Temple Baptist Church. This is the biggest church in Oakland. My family had been going to Allen Temple since day one. I mean, back in the 50s, 51 or 52, something like that. 53, had to be 55, no later than that. So they say, police chief came, and they was talking to all the people there at Allen Temple. We want to stop crime. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. And we want to get crime under control in Oakland. Hallelujah. Thank the Lord. And the main one is right up there on the street. Allen Temple's on 85th Avenue. Our main spot was up half a block away. The main one is that Clarence Reams up there, him and his organization. The whole group got quiet. They ain't said nothing else. Not a word. And the fool didn't know. My mother go there, my sister go there. The whole area, I was a little bad boy in the neighborhood that everybody liked. You know what I mean? Like I was supposed to get baptized at 12. I sat there a minute. I said, this ain't a good baptizement because, you know, they had a little pool in the church with a little wave. I said, I'm not going to jump in that water. So I eased out the door. I didn't get baptized. That's the way I did stuff all the time at that age. But everybody loved the brother. So the chief of police and the old red lieutenant was telling them, we're going to get those guys. They're the problem. And the church knew better. We wasn't the problem. We was a solution. Right? And that's the position that black people have about us in Oakland. Eventually, it'll be here. I'll close with this. We have a big mission in America. Nobody else even they don't have a clue. Ain't nobody talking about stuff like this. And they're not involved, therefore they don't know. You and I got a chance. We have to, you want to keep your family and friends alive, we have to get involved. No matter what your job was before. If you get money from the government, just keep getting your money. Do like I told all others, just keep getting money and work with us. You don't have to go down to the police department and say, I ain't going to snitch no more. I ain't going to tell on none of the other brothers. I'm tired of being a bootlicker. I'm tired of telling on everybody. You don't have to do that. In fact, increase more. Say, yes, boss man. We got to keep an eye on them niggas. Yes, sirree. And I'd like to have a raise. And tell him, I'm a good nigga, boss. You tell him that, right? And get more and more in the system. Yeah. You gotta have game. We're not gonna win this by people walking down the street with no flags and carrying, say it ain't gonna work like that. You're not gonna integrate in there and get a job in America. Who says it's gonna be here? You leave it up to them. You think it's gonna be here 10 years from now, 20 years from now? America, the way it is now. And if anything happens, who's going overboard first? You, your wife, your children, everybody. Right? So you get in there in the system. When I say the system, every system they got. If they got guards at the penitentiary, professors at the university, police going up and down the street, in the military, lock up the system where you have to carry everything out, right? That's the only way you're going to protect yourself. At best, America's going into chaos. What happens in chaos? What happens in chaos? Everybody running around? You think you can protect yourself? Your cousin got a pistol and he's going to come down and hold it sideways and protect your family? Think that's what's going to happen? I see y'all getting ready to go. So I'm not taking it as a sign that you're tired of hearing what I got to say. I'm not taking it like that. I'm taking it like I have talked enough. And I believe you got the idea. Come back Sunday, we're going to go through this in more detail. We have a plan for being here in America. Number one in the plan, instead of separating from the system, integrate in all the power sources with the right idea. We're not in here to destroy a thing. So if they give you a lie detector's test, you'll say, I'm here to protect the Constitution of the United States. Isn't that what they have you say? Right? Constitution of Maryland. That's what you say. And guess what? You mean it. Then that's the first line of defense. Then the military. Then the educational systems. And you become test-wise. So when they start choosing lieutenants, captains, and sergeants, and police chiefs, you'll rise to the top. Isn't that right? Imagine in 10 years. If we flood the system now, somebody told me that they'll even pay you money if you join the police department. I don't believe it. They'll pay you money to go to school. Is that true? They will actually pay you to go to school. They will? That's true. Well, that's where you need to be. Number one, they won't have no more economy for middle-class jobs. They won't have no more pay, right, for you. And chaos is coming. Chaos is already here, but a small level chaos, right? So we'll tell you other parts of the thing. But it's get in the system, make it work, and make sure they don't use it against you and your family. That's first. You got to protect yourself. I don't want to remind you again of Boss Man's history, about how mean he is, and about who he throws overboard first. And now he's associated with losing, becoming a loser. So, O Allah, we seek thy refuge from anxiety and grief. We seek thy refuge from lack of strength and laziness. We seek thy refuge from cowardice and niggardliness. We seek thy refuge from being overpowered by debt and the oppression of men. O Allah, suffice us with what is lawful. Keep from us what is prohibited. With thy grace make us free from want of what is besides thee. Ameen. Ikamati salat.